What's up, YouTube? Snowing out here, so I had to wear clothing, unfortunately. Um, I just want to explain breatharianism real quick for those that might be baffled by it. And we're all breatharians. You breathe or you die, if you want to keep it real. You really don't need food. I mean, you can go years without food. There's plenty of people that have gone years without food and just on liquids. So food is not necessarily a necessity. So that's pretty more so obvious. And if you get into the liquid thing, it really kind of depends on the person, the calibration of the person, and how long they've been working at it, how long they've been, getting in their breathing practices and meditation, and being able to pull things from the atmosphere around them. And I just want to get into the contents of air. It's not just oxygen, of course, and moisture and light are really the basis of the nutrition from the air. And everything is, light is the basis of everything. Because, like, if you look at the sun hitting a street on a warm day or a hot day, you see that the light makes gas, which makes vapor. So the light gets denser, and it's in gas form now. Now from gas form, it gets even denser into a vapor or moisture. So that's the contents of air is just much more than just oxygen, which I know a lot of people already know. But really, and all things on the atomic scale are really just they're made up of the same things in different arrangements. So, and it's all based on light, or dark matter, whatever, because the lightness is the darkness. Because again, the sun is black; it's ultraviolet. So the light is black, but I know it's tough for some people to grasp. But either way, it's that dark matter or light is the basis of everything. So, if you become an alchemical master, you can manipulate the light as you wish to turn anything into anything that you wish. And alchemy is not difficult. People just haven't honed the skill. If you think of a piece of pizza or an Oreo, and the taste, and you can feel it, and you can feel the texture on your lips, but it's not there. It's just because you've had it before and your brain is recreating the situation. The right brain will definitely create it at a visual level. The left brain will help basically create it on a concrete level. And that's the alchemy part of it. The two come together to recreate the situation and to basically perform food alchemy. And you can hone that skill. It doesn't have to just die there. You can get better and better at it to where you can turn cyanide into something else, to water. You could eat glass or whatever. And that's how people do these things. And that's called transmutation. And that's just a skill that you would have to hone. People have done it all the time, unconsciously, all the time. People eat all the time. People have spoiled things, and the transmutation will basically, you use the vessel to change it, and that's on a chemical level. And like I said, light is the basis of everything. It's just an arrangement of light and the density. Like the first step to becoming an alchemical master is to know that you're not solid, and that you're more so a semi-solid, and that things can just go through you, whether it's a billboard with some garbage on it or whatever. You just let it go through you instead of letting it stick to your ribs. And that's what it comes down to with the solar gazing too. And it's difficult for some people to grasp because they can't even see the photons, because they're at a certain density, or they're at a certain deficiency to where their eyes aren't even picking up the minute levels of light, the photons, and then, the photons you create and what you're seeing from the sun. So, yes, like, you are what they call prana, or that is the life force that you possess as this unmanifested being that is in the vehicle of the manifested. This is the manifest. What is in is what's out. So the unmanifested, or the driver, the consciousness, the awareness or will that is you, drives this vehicle. People identify themselves with the vehicle instead of the driver of the vehicle, which is kind of wild. And that, when it comes to solar gazing, they don't. The vehicle can, short you, to where you can't see. You're not picking up the whole light spectrum, because not everybody can. And that's how somebody could call you crazy for solar gazing, because they personally can't see it. So their reality is it's not there, which is true for them. So it is true for them. So at some level, it carries truth. So that, and they'll make it more so their reality, to where, instead of being like, maybe this person is, seeing it from through, different window, basically. And, like I said, everything is light. Like, how can you be blind as a bat? A bat just uses a so-called different sense to see. Sonar, basically. It refracts the light or sound, because sound is light. Sound is a very low, dense form of light, or you can call them one and the same if you wish. So they basically use the sonar, to project that, and it refracts back off them, and then they get an image, and that's how they see. It's just a different conduit that's sending it to the brain and to the awareness, or the will. And so how can you be blind as a bat? It's crazy. And then people always say, like, well, the body, we have intestines and everything. You have two brains. If you unraveled the brain itself, or you like tighten the intestinal region of the body, you could see the similarities of the two. You have two brains. Basically a lower brain, which is more like an animalistic brain, and then the upper brain, and they work in tandem, for success, whatever, to get whatever you wish. But I'm just saying, like, that people are totally controlled by this brain down here, and in most cases they have parasites in this brain down here. So that that basically, like, when it comes to the intestines, they process light, and like I said, everything is light. From light and sound to gas to water, moisture, to plants and insects. A plant is just a dense manifestation of light. So you can eat light. You can eat plant that is eating light still, whether you want to admit it or not. Everyone's living off of light. Whether you're eating a cow, it's living off of light. It's just a denser manifestation of light. So it's all light, either way. So it's all still food. Breatharianism is not eating. It's just eating less dense forms of light. And the intestines they're designed to process light. The least dense it is, it's easier to process for the body. It's just that simple. So the more dense, it's gonna be more difficult to process. That's why I say chew your food to a liquid. Well, that's what you're supposed to do regardless. But it makes the process easier. Because the more dense it is, it's more difficult. And you just see, like, if you eat more solid, like a solid chunks of food, you're not going to be able to process it the same as if you broke it down. So the less dense it is, the easier it is for the body to manipulate it and use it as it wishes, the light. And like, if you want to get into it, the intestines, when sound hits you, it hits your skin and your organs before anything really, and they process that light too, and they turn it from light to sound back to light, and that's how you hear it, as what you hear it as. The whole body hears and sees and everything senses. So, and it all gets sent to the optic nerve, whether you have eyes or not. And proper movements, like that's what they say, exercising will raise your energy level. Proper exercise, or whatever, movements of the body, whether it be dancing or whatever, proper, movements will raise your energy level as well. And again, you don't have to depend on dense light for the raising of your energy, because that's what you eat food for, right? For energy, right? So you're more so, or the vehicle is more so the human plant, or it should be. And it, absorbing moisture, light, that's more so with the human, this basically the human plant. That's with the vehicle, if you want longevity, and or the most longevity, and control, meditation, and trance, or basically the same thing. That's why it's transition, transcend, Like, so you can attract whatever you need if you get proper meditation and proper trance, so the body can pull it from the universe around you. It's like a crab. You raise a crab in calcium-free water, it will still produce its shell, regardless. And like I said, sonar. Persona, person, your vehicle. Per means through. Sona, or sun, is sound. So it's through sound. Because, you know, on the animalistic level, this animated level, you're working more so with the left brain. With that other the unmanifested works more so with the right brain, because the body is the manifested. It's just, because, like, again, it's what's in is what's out. It's the manifested, and the right brain is more so the unmanifested, the will, or the awareness itself. So that, you're seeing, that's why it's a person, your person. Do you have that on your person? Like, that's basically, what it means, like, through sound. And, it's a communication, and the unmanifested uses the manifested to experience, because God is you. God is the unmanifested will that is in everything, that uses the vehicles of existence to have experience, because it doesn't need experience. It's just omnipresent, omnipotent consciousness that doesn't need experience, but to experience existence in life, it uses these vehicles. And you can harness that and live and be a God person instead of a human, or instead of an animal person. It depends on where you're at in your growth. But the unmanifested energy, or unmanifested awareness, no energy consciousness, that the will that you are, controls the energy, the manifested, the energy body, which makes things manifest. This is the vehicle. And again, like I said, it's a transition, whether you're going from vegetarian to vegan to raw, whatever, it's all transition. It might take years for certain people. And when people are breathing more than 18 breaths in a minute, that's what it comes down to. 666 is 18, the beast, the vehicle. When you're identifying yourself with the vehicle and not the conscious awareness that is ever present, that you are. When you're not identifying yourself with the higher self, and you're identifying yourself with the vehicle, that is, when you are the beast. You're identifying yourself with the animal part, the animated part of you. If you don't get past that, you'll never grow to the next level. And the less breaths, the more can come to you. And that just comes from, from controlled breathing and meditation to get you to an even deeper trance, and sleep, an even deeper trance. So, like, that's really what it comes down to with that. And it's not eating, like I'm saying, like, and the only reason I still eat from time to time is more so to stay grounded, because I wouldn't even be able to communicate with people, honestly, because there's not too many people like that on that, with that calibration and on that frequency. So I can't even, the communication would be so difficult. It's already so difficult for me to communicate with people that are just so dense. It's really difficult. And location does matter for breatharianism. It does. And if you want to check out people that have been doing it for years that have not been eating or drinking, check out Prahlad Jani or Elitom Ben Yisrael. Elitom is Elitom, and Prahlad Jani, if you give anything near that spelling, I'm sure you'll get it. Or search 10 days with no food or water. It was on Discovery Channel. But that's it, man. I'm about to head in and upload some of this.